Good morning, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started, and we're just going to take a few deep breaths in and then out. And like I was saying earlier, I am a little bit stiff and sore today. It kind of seems to be the thing on Fridays for me, and part of that is because I have a regular clean on Thursdays. So, plus I think it's also the accumulation from all of the workouts during the week. I just kind of always start to feel it on Fridays. But saying that, always start with small movements and always use your warm-up as an assessment. How are you feeling today? What joints are tender? What muscles are sore? Where are you feeling a little bit stiff? Good. Bring it in. Just let the shoulders relax down. We're going to take our ear to our shoulder side to side. So this way you can always know how do you feel or how you're feeling during the workout. And you can also know what to be gentle with when we start to do certain movements and what you can maybe go a little bit bigger on. And then what to maybe do an extra rep or two on. Good. Bring it up. We're going to look to the side, right to left. So our body stays centered, nice and neutral. And then just a good side to side. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in the center. Arms up, belly is in. We're just going to open and then we're going to close. And I haven't started it yet, but if you have a watch, I am using flexibility. Your watch might have something like stretch, but I'm just going to do a flexibility. And it's still going to ask me if I want to pause my workout because I'm going to be too relaxed down on the floor. My heart rate gets too low, apparently. It thinks I'm done with my workout. And it's like, no, depending on your workout, a low heart rate is a good thing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring it in. We're going to start with our tap side to side. Nice, good. A swing of the arms across the body. Good. 4, 3, 2. Let's take the arms up overhead. Reach, little side bend. 8, 6. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it into the center. We're going to take our feet about hip width apart, toes pointing forwards. We're going to start with our hip circles. And let's go the other direction. Bring it into the center. We're going to open up those feet just a little bit so heels stay where they are. Toes are going to turn towards the corner, and we're just going to do our hip circles. Here's 2 and 1, and let's change direction. There's 2 and 1. Bring it into the center. Kind of turn those toes in a little bit, moving from our hips. And then again, we're just going to do nice, good hip circles, stretching out your external rotators just a little bit. Change direction. Good. Let's bring it into the center. Feet hip width apart. And again, we're just going to add our reach up towards the ceiling, focusing on lifting the ribs, keeping the hips low. Good. 6. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Give yourself a little bit of space, a little bit of room to move. Hand can hold on to something if you need to. And we're going to start with our nice hip swings. So just start with a Good hip movement, and you can always keep it low, but I do want you to work on trying to make it bigger at some point. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch it over to the other side. Same thing. Just start with your small swings. Think about it, it's kind of like a pendulum. Leg goes forward, leg goes back. 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. We're going to face the wall or face your countertop or go sideways to whatever you're holding on to. And we're going to go out and add a little cross in front. And the challenge for this, at least for me, is to try not to kick something. But we're standing nice and tall on that standing leg. Little bit of pelvis rotation. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Switch it over to the other side. Same thing. Take the leg out. Let it cross in front. It can be a little cross, so you can just take it out, pause in the middle, but I want you to try to get a good range of motion. Whatever that is going to be a little different for you than it is for me. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully bring it in towards the center. Going to take our legs nice and wide. So toes pointing forward or a little bit out. Nice, good wide stance. Side lunge. Little double pulse. Little double pulse. So nice, good elevated, lifted chest. Just take it to the side. Good, couple more. Just 2. And 1. Hold it in the center, push the hips back. Hands on the thighs, a little bit of a cat-cow. So we're going to inhale, gentle arch of the back. Exhale, tuck the tail, pull the belly in a little bit. So inhale, gentle arch. Exhale, little tuck. If you don't want to arch and round, if you don't want to do the open and the tuck, then I want you to belly breathe. But you can do really small movements. See how that feels. But it always depends on how you're doing. So inhale, exhale. Good, one more time. In and out. Roll it up a little bit. We're going to do our forward, middle, and back. So we're hinging at the hips. It's a little hamstring stretch. Hinge it forwards. We're going to reach to the front, reach between the feet, and then reach back behind you. So a little bit forward, right to the middle, and then reach back. Forward, middle, and back. Some of you might be able to reach the floor. If you can, great. If you can't, that's okay too. And again, we're still trying to keep a neutral spine, so we don't want to bend our knees and round our spine just so we can touch the floor. It's a tall posture. We're holding a neutral spine, so we're trying to train and warm up our body in the positions that we want to be in. Good, last one here. Good. We're going to bring it all the way up, staying wide, arms out to the side. Little side lunge, adding in a little torso rotation here. So it's a good reach. So up, good rotation. 4, 3, here's 2, 1, and we're going to take it down into our plank. I'm going to come up to stand and I'm going to turn. But I like this one because I can just keep my legs wide, walk it out. I'm going to step it back, keep my feet a little bit wide. Now I'm going to lift it up, down dog, and then back to plank. So down dog and back to plank. So nice, good stretch. Trying to lift the hips, drop the ears between your elbows, and then come back. Good, 2 more. Lift up, and then plank, and lift up, and then plank. And we're going to carefully bring our knees down to the floor. You can sit it back a little bit, shake it out, roll the shoulders, circle the wrists. We're going to, goodness, what am I thinking? I apparently cannot do two things at one time today. We're going to grab a drink. We're going to flip over onto our backs. We're going to be on the floor most of class today. So we're going to be on our backs for a little bit, then we're going to be on our tummies, and then we have some side lying exercises as well. And then I'm going to double check because I think I put the wrong workout up. I did. I do not have my workouts memorized, so I have to have them up. And that was Saturday's workout, I think. And I don't know if everybody is going to be super happy with Saturday's workout, because if you did it with me, it was a tough workout. But we are still going to be down on the floor, so you don't have to worry about that one. But we're going to be down on our backs. We're going to roll ourselves down just very carefully. And we're going to just hang out on the floor for a moment. We're going to come up into a dead bug position. So we're going to bring our legs up. We're going to think about our low back being pulled down into the floor. We want to have knees over hips. I like having my ankles in line with my knees, but if you need to make this a little easier, you can bend your knees and bring your heels towards your backside. Well, we're going to keep our low back glued to the floor. Drop one heel down and then lift it back up again. So one heel down, one heel up. So alternating heel taps. We're just going to start by warming up our core a little bit. So slow and steady. So down and up, down and up. So as we bring the legs back up, we're stopping the knees right over our hips. So we can really focus on keeping the low back pulled into the floor without rounding our pelvis or our spine. Good. Here's 2 and 1. And now we're going to hug our knees. So we're going to pull our knees in. Don't have to lift your upper body. And I'm going to add a little side-to-side wiggle. If you would like to pull the knees in and lift the upper body off of the floor, again, you can add that in. Still adding in that little bit of a wiggle. Good. Now we're going to take both feet flat on the floor. We're going to inhale, bring the arms up, and as we exhale, we're going to pull the right knee into the chest. And then we're going to inhale, relax, and then exhale, left knee gets pulled into the chest. So inhale, arms overhead, exhale, and hug. So we're kind of doing a little snow angel. Inhale and exhale. Now if you want to make it a little bit harder, inhale, legs are out. Exhale, pull the knee in. Inhale and exhale. So you're adding a little bit of a leg extension. And out. Good. In and out. One more time. In, actually one more time each leg, I should say. And exhale, pull it in. Inhale and exhale. Let's take those legs back down to the floor. We're going to take our feet wider, so width of the mat, arms out to the side if you'd like, and we're going to do our windshield wipers 90-90, going side to side. We're going to keep our feet on the floor. Our legs are wide, so when you go to one side, if you were able to get all the way to the floor, it would look like your one foot could rest on top of your opposite thigh. So just a nice, good side to side. It's okay if your legs do not get to the floor. We're trying to keep our chest, or not our chest, our back and our shoulders, the backs of our hands, glued to the floor. Just a nice, good side to side, 90-90. Good. 2 and 1. Let's take it all the way over to one side. We're going to stack our hips, stack our knees, pull the knees about in line with our belly button, and we're going to do our open books. So top hand, we're just going to take a nice deep breath in, and as we exhale, we're going to open that top upper body out behind us, and then we're going to inhale and close. As we take that upper arm back behind us, we want to try to keep our knees and our hips stacked one on top of the other. Sometimes if we're really tight, we open and we get stuck, and so we let our knees separate just so we can get to the floor. I want you to try to keep your knees glued together as we open and close. Good, we're going to do one more right here. Let's bring it back. Now we're going to do our rainbow. So our top hand, our fingertips barely touch the floor. And we're now going to draw a nice rainbow up and over our head, and we're going to try to bring it all the way around, maybe down by our hip, and then we're going to bring it all the way back up again. You want to try to keep your fingers on the floor. They may or may not stay there, especially if you're really tight in the chest and the shoulders. You may find that you kind of get to that overhead point, and as you start to open, that's where they start to lift off the floor. And that's all right. You just want to try your best to keep them as close to the floor as you can get. Good, let's bring it back into the center, and now we're just going to 90-90 over and do the other side, open books, but I am going to flip it over. If you want to do that, you can, but most of us can just circle around. But we're going to be, again, on our side, stack your hips, stack your knees, arm out to the side, top hand, we're going to take a nice deep breath in, exhale, and we're going to open it back behind us. So it's okay if you don't get your upper body to the floor. We're working on a little stretching, but we're also working on our mobility. So there's a difference between flexibility and mobility and range of motion. They're all intertwined, they're all connected. They're all a little bit different. And you'll probably find that one side is a little bit looser than the other. That's pretty normal for most of us. Good. All right, now we're going to do those rainbows. So we're going to take that top hand, fingertips stay on the floor, and can you bring it up and around and circle, and then all the way back up. So this one's a tricky one. This is going to test our mobility of our shoulders and our chest, but it's also testing our torso and our spine mobility. Good, couple more. Up and around. And then bring it back. Good, one more time. So circle up and around, keeping those knees glued together. And then around. Good, we're going to roll onto our backs. And we're going to do our happy baby. So we're going to take one leg, we're going to bring it up so that our knee is kind of pulled in towards our chest, and we're going to grab. If you can grab behind the thigh, great. If you can grab your ankle, great, but I want you to see, can you grab the bottom of your foot? Maybe you can, maybe you can't, but I'm just going to try to grab the bottom of my foot. And I'm going to do a little side to side. So I'm just going to do a little wiggle. This is a good one that if you can't grab your foot, if you don't have the flexibility, it's okay, but I do want you to see, can you grab your, use your hands to kind of grab your calf or your ankle and just move it side to side. Good. Now we're going to take that same leg, we're going to cross the ankle over the opposite thigh just above the knee. So you want to have ankle over your thigh, not foot. So we don't want to have the foot kind of curling in a lot. And we're just going to start with a basic figure 4. You can start with your foot on the floor, your knee is bent, and then the leg that crossed over, you want to open up that hip. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can start to move that foot closer, or you can lift it off the ground, or you can start to pull in on that leg to deepen the stretch. Just kind of depends on how tight you are. Good, in 3, 2, 1. We're going to keep that foot up, set the other leg down on the floor, and we're just going to do nice, good ankle circles. So you can pull in, and then let's change direction. Good, and now we're going to take that knee and have it right over the thigh, or right over the hip. We're going to flex our foot, and we're going to do our knee straighten and our knee bend. So this is our hamstring stretching. This is also a variation of flossing. So this is one where you want to be very gentle. And we just straighten our knee and we bend our knee. Straighten and bend. Good, and here's 2 and 1, and now we're going to try to straighten our knee and hold it. And some of you may be able to grab behind your thigh and pull it in a little bit more. If you can't, that's okay. We're just going to hold it. Good, now let's bend that knee. We're going to take our opposite leg out straight so we look like a half dead bug. The leg that's up, we're going to gently pull it across the body to the opposite side, and we're going to see, can we get our toe to the floor? Maybe you can get your knee to the floor. And then we're going to reach that arm up and do a nice good stretch. So we're getting a stretch from the fingertips all the way down to your hip, maybe to your knee. And we're trying to keep that shoulder on the floor. Mine is lifted, but we want to just try to keep it close. And now that leg, I want you to try to straighten your knee and extend it out a little bit. And you may have to lower the hip down a little bit or lower the leg down a little bit to get that leg straight. But now we're trying to get a nice good stretch from our fingertip all the way down to our toes. Good, 3, 2, 1. Carefully bring it back into the center. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to start with that variation on Happy Baby. So lift the leg up, pull it into the chest. If you can, I want you to try to grab the top of your foot, or the bottom of your foot, I should say. And again, I'm going to add a little side to side wiggle. So we're just doing a little bit of inner and outer thigh here. Because our hips are one of those joints that moves in multiple directions, kind of like our shoulders. Here's 2 and 1. Let's go ahead and take that ankle, cross it over the opposite thigh just above the knee. We're going to open up that hip, so we're doing a nice good figure 4. You can start with your foot farther away. You can start to pull it in a little bit closer. Some of you may be able to lift that opposite foot off of the floor. And some of you may be able to pull in. It all depends on how you're doing today. So just nice deep breaths in, feel a little stretch in that outer thigh, but again, we don't want to feel pain or discomfort. Little discomfort, little stretching is okay. Pain is not. And here's 2 and 1. Set the foot down. This foot, the leg that's up that we're stretching, we're going to bring it up and do our ankle circles. And then change direction. And now we're going to take that knee over our hip, and we're going to flex our foot, and we're going to start with our straighten and our bend. So this is our hamstring stretching, our hamstring flossing. So we're stretching the muscle, we're working on a little range of motion, but we're also kind of working on those nerves that are back in that area. So that's why, don't force this one. You don't have to take your leg all the way straight if it doesn't want to go. We just want to get that stretch and that bend. Good. Now we're going to take it up there and we're going to hold it. And if you want to keep your legs straight, if you can take it out a little bit and not feel like your low back is pulling off of the floor, then you're good. But if you can keep it straight and very gently pull in, then go for it. Good, 3, 2, 1. Gently bend that leg. You're going to take that opposite leg out straight. We're going to do our cross body stretch. So very gently bring that knee across the body, stretching out that hip. And we're going to take the arm up and over, palm facing up. Back of the hand is reaching the ceiling. Back of the hand is reaching the floor. Palm is facing the ceiling. Back of the hand is going to the floor. Just a nice good stretch again from your fingertips. Most of us are going to feel this in our chest down to our hip. And now we're going to take that leg and we're going to try to straighten the knee. And we're going to see, can we get the foot closer to the floor? If you're really tight, you may again have to just start to lower that floor, or lower that hip, lower that foot, so that you're able to get a good stretch without that pain and discomfort. Good, 3, 2, 1. Release, bring it in. Bring the knees in. We're going to roll to one side, come up to a seated position, and we're going to flip it over onto our hands and knees, but this is your opportunity to grab a quick drink if you'd like. If you're down but your beverage is up, sit first, then go to kneeling to grab your drink. We're going to flip it over onto hands and knees. And you can do this standing if you need to, but shoulders down, brace the core. And we're going to kind of do like our cat-cow, but instead of doing right in the center, I want you to go side to side. So I want you to kind of think about bringing your hip up towards your ribs. So we don't want to shift our weight, feel like we're going to fall over. We just kind of do a little side bend, a little side bend. So it's a little crunch and a little crunch. So think about using those muscles. Lift your hips towards your ribs, or try to bring your hips towards the shoulders. So just side to side. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it into the center. We're going to combine our cat-cow with our hip circles. So inhale, gentle arch of the back, take it over to the right. Exhale, lift up in the middle, and then over to the left. So inhale, center, side, exhale in the middle, and then to the left. So just adding in a little bit of a hip circle. Good. Now we're going to go the other direction. So inhale, gentle arch, take it over to the left. Exhale in the middle, and then take it over to the right. So inhale, side, and then out and around. Good. Couple more. There's 2. And 1. Now we're going to sit our hips back towards our heels. Reach those arms out for a child's pose position. If you need to, have your hands elevated. So use them, use a chair, use some yoga blocks. So if this is uncomfortable for you to be down on the floor, feel free to reach it out and have your hands elevated. Sometimes that just gets you into a more comfortable position. If your knees are really bothering you, sometimes this one, if you're going to be here for a bit, put a couple of pillows between your thighs and your calves, and you can just kind of rest, and it'll allow you to relax, but it'll allow you to also keep the pressure off of your knees. Good. Let's go ahead and bring it back up to our hands and knees position, and this time we're going to do our shoulder circles. If these ones are difficult to do on the floor, these ones are great to do standing with your hands against a wall. So keep that belly tight and keep your elbows straight. We're going to squeeze our shoulders together. Now we're going to lift them up by our ears. Separate the shoulder blades, push the floor away, and then pull the shoulders down and back into your back pocket. So squeeze, lift, press, and pull. So squeeze them together, lift them by the ears, push the floor away, and pull them down. So we can start to make this a little bit more of a flow. The hard part with this one for a lot of people is we start to arch our back instead of letting our shoulders do the movement. Here's 2 and 1. Sit back into child's pose. Give the wrists a little bit of a break. We're going to do the other direction. Let's bring it back up to our hands and knees. Now we're going to do the same thing. So elbows straight, bellies in. And this time we're going to squeeze the shoulders, pull them down, push the floor away, and then bring them up. So squeeze, pull down, push, and up. Squeeze, pull them down, push, and up. So you can keep it in little segments, get the feel, and then when you're ready, you can start to make it more of a flow. But elbows are straight and bellies are pulled in. We don't want to do the arching and the rounding of the low back. Here's 2 and 1. Good. Sit the hips back to the heels. Reach the arms out. Nice, good stretch. And 3, 2, 1. Let's bring it back up. Hands underneath the shoulders. Take the legs back. We're going to lift up into a plank, and then we're going to lift up into our down dog. So nice, good plank position. Lift it up into a down dog, and now we're going to walk the dog. So we're going to start adding in alternating heel drops. If you need to be at an incline with your hands on the chair, that's a good way to do these. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Carefully come back down to your knees. Give yourself a little break. And then bring it back up to hands and knees, back up to a plank. We're going to come to runner's lunge. So we're going to step our right foot by our right hand, drop the left knee down towards the floor. And we're just going to start by wiggling that right knee a little bit in and out. And again, this is one that your back leg might be farther forward than mine. And you can have your hands on a chair. Have yourself a little bit elevated. Good. Now we're going to take that arm. We're going to take the forearm down towards the floor. And then we're going to rotate and we're going to reach it up towards the ceiling. So forearm down to the floor and rotate. You might be right here and right here. It's okay. It took me a little while to get to this point. I still have a ways to go, especially since we haven't really done these a lot for a while. Good. Let's go ahead and bring it in. Take that hand down. We're going to lift back up into that plank. Step it back. We're going to switch over to the other side. Left foot by your left hand. Carefully drop that knee down to the ground. And again, we're just going to start with that little wiggle. Just a little wiggle. So if you're comfortable, I take my hand off of the floor. I can do a tripod. Not everybody can, and that's understandable. They call this the world's greatest stretch because we're getting just about everything. We're getting hip flexors, hamstrings, torso. Good. Now let's bring it in. We're going to take forearm down to the floor, and then we're going to open. So forearm down and open. So this is our torso mobility here, but we're getting our hips at the same time. Getting a little hamstring on that front leg. We're getting a hip flexor on the back. Good. One more time. Down and lift. Good. Let's take that hand back down to the floor. Lift it up into your plank. Step it back into your plank position. Carefully drop the knees to the floor. Point your toes. And now we're going to carefully lift up into a variation of up dog or cobra. And if this is uncomfortable for you, I want you to come down until you are on your forearms. elbows under your shoulders, and you're here. So this is a variation that may be more comfortable for you. Another option is just to go all the way down onto your tummy and to rest your chin on your hands. Good. Let's go ahead and bring it in. Take it back to child's pose. Reach it out. Good. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and bring it up, and we're going to flip over onto our buns. And we're going to start all the way at the back of our mat. And we're going to take our legs out straight. Now, if you're not able to do this one on the floor, on a mat, if you have a chair, you're going to do the same thing sitting in the chair, okay? But we just want to start with our side to side. And remember, we're not going side to side and like falling over. We're lifting our hips. And now I want you to try to start to walk yourself forwards. And you're going to try to go as far down your mat as you can. And then you're going to walk yourself back. You're going to walk yourself back. So it's trying to do less of a side-to-side wobble and more like a lift and a slide. A lift and a slide. Good, and we're going to do that one more time. So I get about halfway down my mat, but if you're not going as far as I am, that's okay. I just want you to get at least one trip down and back. We've got to go both directions. Good, and take it back. And you can kind of tell which side needs a little help, which side is doing okay. I've got one where I'm feeling my hip flexor for sure. Good, and go ahead and bring it in. Just give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. And we're just going to reach it forward and give ourselves a little hamstring stretch. And this one, if you would like to round your spine a little bit, you can. We're just going to reach it forwards. Nice, good stretch. Good, in 3, 2, 1, bring it up. We have one more exercise we're going to do. We're going to do kind of a side plank, side bend. We're going to come up onto our knees. We're going to take our right leg stays down, left leg is going to go out to the side, and we're going to take our right hand down to the floor, and we're just going to reach it up and add in a side bend. So I want you to just really think about doing a nice good arch. So my foot isn't flat on the floor. You can point your toe, but I want you to try to squeeze the glutes, push the hip forward. So we want to try not to turn forward if we can. I want you to almost open up a little bit back behind you. Nice, good stretch the whole length of the side of the body. Good, carefully bring it in. You can just put your hands down and flip over. I'm going to switch it over to the other side. Left foot down, right leg out, left hand to the floor. And again, squeeze the glute. So your weight is going to be on this leg. And it's just a nice, good side bend. And I am absolutely feeling this particular stretch today. And 4, 3, 2, 1, bring it in. Coming back to a kneeling position in the center. We're just going to take in a couple nice deep breaths in. And out. One more time in. And out. And you are all done.